Hi, today we're interviewing the narrator from Season Migration to the North. We'll be touching on his relationship with Mustafa Saeed, as well as the effects of European culture on African culture. Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I actually just got out of the hospital because I just nearly drowned in the Nile River. However, my longtime friend Maju saved me. What happened was I swam out into the river, and when I realized how far out I swam, I didn't have enough energy to return to either shore, and so I'm very thankful for Maju for saving me.
It's quite a story. Well, I guess we'll start with your relationship with Mustafa. Why do you think Mustafa left you responsible for his children and his estate?
I think he did this because we both had educations in Europe, and he knew I was a smart guy. And when I walked into his room, he had pieces of paper with random stuff written on them all over the place. And I think he thought that I would be able to put the pieces together of his life. And I, however, didn't want to do this because I had enough to worry about with the death of his wife and Juan Reyes, as well as taking care of his kids.
Did Mustafa ever talk about his interaction with the European culture?
Yeah, that's what he spent most of his time talking about. He specifically talked about his relationships with women in England and how they all committed suicide. And I guess the important thing out of it is that the women in Africa, or the women in England, kind of, they considered his Africanness and his wildness. His room was kind of like a jungle, and he was just kind of not really a savage, but that's what they thought he was, and they just kind of wanted a different experience than everyone else, and Mustafa definitely gave that to them. But in the long run, it was too much for them to handle because Mustafa couldn't uh, keep a relationship with one woman, and so they all committed suicide.
Oh, okay. With the European colonization of Africa, many Africans are having problems growing accustomed to this new strange culture. How are you and Mustafa, how are you looked upon by the fellow Africans?
I'd say that we both have a lot of expectations put upon us because we spent so much time away from our culture, getting a education in England, and some people in my tribe are kind of disappointed in me that I returned with an education in poetry because they felt that I should have gotten an education in something that would help them out, like medicine or agriculture or engineering.
So what exactly are you doing with your education in Africa?
I'm helping out the education department, setting curriculums for the schools, and most of the locals kind of think that what I'm doing isn't as important as longtime traditions such as farming, because lately with the colonization of the European culture on Africa, they're putting education on us, hospitals, and people aren't used to that, and so they're kind of scared of the education.
Now you mentioned before that people are disappointed in you and they expect a lot out of you, but do they look up to you as a leader?
I would say yeah, but I think my friend Maju, who saved me in the river, is looked upon more as a leader uh, than I am because the farming community believe that, like I said before, what they're doing is more important than education. So I think they kind of respect me in a way that they want me to make the right decisions for the community because I have a education.
That's all the time we have. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.